When it comes to, and you'll know this if you're in the Google ad space, anyone promising results is lying, right? It's not someone I think you should trust. Be prepared to make a lot of mistakes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Marketing Inc. I am your host, Allie Bloyd, and I have an amazing guest with me today. His name is David, and I think you're going to find what he has developed extremely interesting in this AI age that we are living in right now. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to David. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Ali, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that are listening that are not familiar with you or what you do, why don't you kind of take us back and bring us up to speed in terms of who you are, what you do, and how you got to this point in your life and business.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So I'm David, the founder and CEO of GROAS. We are the world's first people to reach fully autonomous Google Ads campaigns.
Nice.
Getting here wasn't easy, a lot of work, a lot of iteration. Before that, I used to work in private equity and also VC, and also did a lot of e-com for myself back in the day too. So quite a varied background. Studied computer science as well, so I've been coding since I was quite young. A lot of different things, but yeah, now full steam ahead with GROAS.
So tell us a little bit more about how and why this platform was developed. How did you really identify Google Ads as something that you wanted to create a solution for? And what was the process of, creating this idea all the way through the completed development?
Sure. So I was running Google, Meta, like obviously the classic stuff for a dropshipping store I had, okay, which was selling intimate male trimmers, right? And I saw that people were coming in and buying this product from a variety of different angles, right? Some people were buying it for their partner. Some people were looking for a leg hair trimmer, arm hair trimmer, whatever it is. So the first thing I started to figure out or think about was, how can I get my landing page, which is just an electric trimmer, to match the search intent of the user? So I started to think about how that could be possible, how I could do that in the context of Google Ads. And so GROAS V1 was basically, all right, let's get this search intent matched up with people's landing pages. We also doing some stuff around, new keywords, negative keywords, but it was basically like a tool to help you optimize your ads a little bit better. And then through a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, we're at now, which is campaigns that fully run and scale themselves with zero human involvement and outperform humans actually at actually scaling and running those campaigns.
I love it. So obviously, this is something that you were doing. You saw the need for it. You already had a background in computer science and coding and things like this. How much manual coding was required to create this, or did you leverage AI in the creation of this AI platform?
So when we started building GRAS, the tools for writing, the AI tools for writing code weren't where they are today. And they seem to be getting better literally every week, like by orders of magnitude. So when we started, the answer is, of course, a little bit here and there, but the answer is yes, but no. Now, if my engineers aren't writing, if not, all of their code has to be AI generated, right? The job of traditional software engineering has changed dramatically. It's not going to, humans are never going to handwrite code ever again. I mean, we're hundreds of thousands of lines of code. It's taken a long time to get there. So even if I were to start afresh today, it would still take a long, long time, I think.
I think that people have such a big misunderstanding of what AI coding and AI assisted coding can actually look like. So we have I wouldn't call it a similar project, it's similar in the way of we are automating things that have previously only been done by humans for self-managing pieces of your marketing and kind of its own ecosystem. It's not a Google Ads focus at all, but very similar concept. Um, and I think people like to believe that, oh, just use Claude Code and vibe code this project in a weekend. And that is not how it works. If you are doing something substantial, not only the thought processes that have to go into it from the very beginning, but also the deep understanding of how these things work in the first place. There are a lot of people out there that I think are trying to create AI assisted platforms, but they do not have the thorough understanding and all of the nuances of what it looks like to actually do that manually, what
Mm.
goes into those things manually. And if you really don't have that background, you're not going to be able to create something that is truly effective because you didn't have that foundational understanding before you started. And so
True.
I think that coding is obviously changing tremendously, and it's going to allow us to do things a lot faster than we ever would have been able to otherwise. But it certainly is not going to replace the need for people who understand development, who understand the way that these things are constructed, how to effectively do it without, putting together something that would suck the budget of an advertiser who believes that they're actually going to get something that is
Yep.
really solid from their campaigns. So let's talk a little bit about why you developed this in the first place. Was this something where you said, I just don't want to do this anymore, and I know there's a way to replace myself? Or was it that you were working with businesses who, needed to do this, but they didn't have the funds to hire somebody to manage these independently? What really was the thing that prompted you to create this solution in the first place?
So GROAS V1, which is, like I said, this tool, it was something people went in and used. That was more for the fact that there was no one really who had anything I liked for landing pages, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even just like recommending new keywords and stuff. I mean, there's plenty of players that optimize a word stream. But I thought, look, we can do it in a better way, better price, etc., etc. Then, when we started to get a lot of customers for V1, is when the ideas started taking for what we have now, which is full autonomy. It's not a product, right? So GROAS is no longer a product. It's not a piece of software. It's not something people use. You literally just plug your account in and it completely takes over. Um, that would never have been possible if we hadn't had the number of customers we had uh, with V1. Physically impossible.
Yeah.
So kind of funny how that journey played out. But yeah, we're still early. We're still learning. There's still so much to do.
Yeah, amazing. So let's talk a little bit about how this platform actually works. What is it looking at? What is it doing? What is it utilizing to understand the types of campaigns someone needs? Kind of walk me through what's going on in the background, the reasoning, the logic, and how it's making those decisions.
Yeah. For that, I would need like a very very big book. So it's tracking per campaign per hour hundreds of thousands of different data points, right? Obviously, we're pulling in all the typical Google stuff, CTR, whatever, whatever. But it also has a very good knowledge of people's offer, people's brand, um, all these sorts of things that are actually going to move the needle on the campaign. And then based on all of that, it's just taking action fully autonomously, right? So anything a human can do inside the Google Ads console, whether that's adding a new keyword, adding stuff to negative keywords, pausing an ad, increasing budgets, all these sorts of things GRAS is now doing. It's not deterministic. So it's not like it's just going to run and say every day we should check the budget. And then every day we should minimum add 5 negative keywords.
Mhm.
Not at all. It's completely non-deterministic and works on the basis of what's happening in that particular campaign. Which, and that's at this point we have so many different customers. Uh, it's pretty interesting to see how GRAS behaves, right? For some niches, other niches, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Gotcha. So, what do you believe are the biggest reasons that someone should switch to an AI based platform that is doing a lot of these things for them? Let's say they already have someone in house who's managing their Google campaigns, things are going well. What is the benefit of switching in general?
Well, it's performance and cost, right? So performance quite quickly. You're supposed to see an uptick in performance, right? Even though for the first week, GRAS is actually going to do nothing, right? So if you've got a campaign running, you connect it to GRAS, it's going to take 1 week of just learning and observing before it does anything on that campaign. The first answer is obviously performance. That's literally what we sell. And second answer is, of course, cost, right? We Our biggest customer segment is people firing their agencies and then switching to GRAS because it's 30% of the cost, but also comes with a human element. We also have a dedicated manager, et cetera, et cetera. So uh, those two things.
What do you think is going to occur within the advertising agency space as a result of platforms like this coming onto the market?
A lot of them, I think, will have to really quickly adapt or just not survive. We've we've taken on so many different accounts from other people referring their agencies. And the stuff we see in these accounts is pretty insane, right? People charging 3, 4K a month, 5K a month, who seem to literally not know what they're doing in Google Ads. So yeah, I would say there's a lot in the industry because anyone in theory can set up a marketing agency, right? You put some fake case studies, run some cold emails or whatever it is, and you can sort of get some customers that way. Um, so yeah, I think a lot of them probably won't survive unless they rethink. We have a lot of agencies just using GROAS, right? So they just plug GROAS into their customers' campaigns, and they can then focus on other things such as acquiring new customers or whatever it is. But yeah, there's a massive, I think, shift coming for the industry as a whole, and I think it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah. So I think this is one of those things that can excite certain people and it can scare certain people because we're obviously living in a time where AI is accelerating very, very quickly. Things that previously, people may have thought were 5 years down the road or potentially 5 months down the road, if not faster. Do you think that this is going to wipe out an industry, or do you believe that more agencies are going to start adapting to simply using tools like this and hope that the typical business owner doesn't discover them for themselves? As a company, are you guys focused on marketing to agencies or marketing to the independent business owner, or is it a mixture of both?
Mixture of both. We're not even necessarily doing too much marketing as of now, right? All our customers are just coming from organic, so LLMs, and also just word of mouth, customers from other customers. We haven't yet set up dedicated, all right, let's go after this niche or these marketing agencies yet. I think we will at some point. For now, we've just been obviously very heads down on full autonomy. Yeah, I think what you say is true. Agencies are going to have to adapt a lot, but also there's the stuff that's coming from the platforms themselves, right? Google, Meta, they themselves are pushing towards trying to make things as autonomous and uh, as autonomous as possible, really. Meta in particular. So that is also something that we're going to have to work with. Everyone's going to have to work with.
Yeah.
So yeah, short answer is we'll see. There's a lot going on.
I think there is a lot of uncertainty right now, to be honest, because there are obviously so many people focused on creating these autonomous solutions. But if we look at the larger enterprises like Meta, like Google, are their solutions they create internally, or is that what they are focused on, trying to create something similar? And it's so hard to know. And so ultimately, I think this is going to be just a very shifting landscape for so many of us. But at the end of the day, if we are business owners, our advertising plays a huge role in the success and the growth of our business. And so whatever tools and resources we have in the current moment to be able to grow our business or get better results, I think are certainly things that people should be exploring. So, when it comes to what human manual campaign management looks like versus what you can see with a fully autonomous platform like this, what are some of the differences? Same business, same offer, same type of campaign. What types of results are you really looking at here?
I think the easiest thing to show is the change history logs in Google Ads, right? When you look at that, you'll see what a human is actually doing, how often they're doing it. Typically, an agency, at least what we see, they'll log in maybe 2, 3 times a week, adjust a couple bids. Most don't even bother with negative keywords, like very high level sort of stuff. Um, with Grass, it's actioning things 24/7, so around the clock. So it's going to obviously action a lot more stuff, right? Um, the other thing as well is in actual account structure and like what the campaigns look like. So Grass as well generates brand new campaigns from scratch that are in line with what Google wants, right? We see so many things. Campaigns have been running for years with very poor structure. That's as well something that Grass does very well. When it comes to, and you'll know this if you're in the Google ad space, anyone promising results is lying, right? Is not someone I think you should trust. Um, all we do, our benchmark is can we outperform your current human? That's it.
Mhm.
And so if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't have a business, right? Because we're fully self-funded, no VC funding required. So far, it's panning out as needed.
Awesome. So, what is your current marketing strategy? I know you said you haven't actually focused on, really getting this out to agencies. How did you get your initial clients? How is the business growing and why have you chosen to not aggressively market this?
We will, is the short answer. We're going to do that very soon. Up until now, it's only been LLMs referring us for free, organic search,
Mhm.
um, and customers telling other customers. So we haven't done any paid ads ourselves yet. We haven't done really too much outbound or anything. It's all just been coming organically, which has been good. Because, like I said, to get to this point of full autonomy, it is technically an extremely complicated challenge.
Yeah.
But we're now there, so now we can invest more in that.
That's amazing. So Google Ads, I mean, obviously you guys do fully autonomous Google Ads. Are you running Google Ads for your own autonomous Google Ad platform?
So yeah, so short answer is no, not yet, because like I said, we're not doing any paid ads. We will quite soon, and when we do that, we're going to put some pretty serious budget behind it, right? So I don't want to run Google Ads with less than 100K a month spend, to be honest. So when we have like 100K spare that we can just throw into it, then we will. But likely that will be in the next couple of months. We're hoping.
Where does that 100K minimum come from? Is that something that you've seen? You don't believe it's worth it at less than that?
Good question.
So many of the clients we work with are never going to have 100K a month for Google. But I don't believe that it's not worth it for them to run those campaigns.
True. It's an arbitrary number. It's too large a number, right? I would say if we're being real, the real number is probably around, you could maybe get away with it at 20K, but it ultimately depends on your offer, right? What's your AOV? What's your expected CPA? We have customers spending like 3K a month on Google Ads, getting great results, right? There's no minimum spend, but at least for us, that's what we'd like to start with for sure.
Gotcha. So tell me just where you see your platform and the digital marketing industry as a whole going really in the next 12 months.
Yeah, things are going to change a lot. We're constantly working and tweaking our own algorithms, right, to improve things. We're lucky to have, it's a self-fulfilling cycle, right? The more customers sign up, the more data we get, the better our algos get. It's going to change a lot, right? I think for me, the main thing I look out for is actually the stuff coming from Google and Meta, what they're pushing, because that's going to affect everyone, right? Agencies, in-house teams, like that's the number one thing that I look out for. So we'll see. I don't have a good answer to that.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly how it is. Well, if there are people out there who are working on building their own fully autonomous solutions or who are really trying to leverage these new tools and technologies that we have in the AI space, is there any advice that you would give them after going through this process?
Yeah, I would say, as in what, using other tools or building your own or just generally?
Really?
Building your own, yeah. Be prepared to make a lot of mistakes. To be honest, if you're going to try build your own tools, yeah, it's going to be, it might be painful. There's some cool stuff that I saw with Meta, the Manners thing. They integrated something there. That's Meta's big play, it seems, right? Google will eventually you'll be able to connect it to Claude, I'm sure, very soon. The big issue with all of this, I think, are the context windows, the context on your brand, your offer, it working 24/7. So things like getting insights from your campaign, that's easy, right? That's not interesting. Give me a summary of how my campaigns are doing. Google will even do that for you anyway. It's the idea of the self-running, self-fulfilling loop. That's the technically very, very challenging bit.
I 100% agree. So I think it's an exciting time we're in. It's an interesting time we're in. It's an unpredictable, unprecedented time we're in. And all of us, regardless of how advanced we are at the moment or what we're building or what we've built, we're all really in this together in my mind. We don't necessarily know what things are going to look like even within the next 12 months. And all we can do is take what we have available to us now and try and use it to the best of our abilities to continue to grow our business, save cost, increase revenue, and just provide the life that we were looking for when we started our businesses. So is there any singular piece of advice you would like to share with the audience, whether it's related to Google Ads or building a product or anything like this, just from your entrepreneurial journey along the way?
I think I'm still a bit early to be, I think, giving out too much advice, but I would say the most important thing, I think, especially in an AI world, is your ability to take action, right? Knowledge means nothing anymore. Intelligence, I don't think means much anymore either, right? We're creating super autonomous and super intelligent beings as we speak. Your ability to take risks, take action, I think, are the most important things, I think, for the next 5 years. Then we'll do
Absolutely about that. It is implementation over everything. People can have great ideas all day long, they have the tools and resources at their fingertips to make those things happen, but it's not going to build itself. So if you have something that you're thinking about, take a risk, go for it. And just know if you're not implementing, someone else is going to be. This is the time, I think, to really dive in and create something extremely unique and powerful. So thank you so much for being here today, David. Really enjoyed having you. Hope you guys tune in for the next one, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.